Hey guys, it's Laura, and today we are going to be diving into eyeshadows. Alright guys, so if you've watched a past video, which I will link below, then you know that only certain eye pigments are actually FDA approved for eye use. But that doesn't mean that all eyeshadow palettes out there are actually using color pigments that are approved. So I wanted to go into my own collection here. I've got a few palettes that I want to see, hey, do they include an ingredient list on their packaging? And two, are their color pigments actually FDA approved for eye use? So let's go ahead and dive into this. First up here, we are going to start with this Milani palette. This is the Must Have Naturals palette. And starting off, I can tell you right now that this does not have any ingredient list on the packaging whatsoever. So we are going to actually have to go an extra step, dive into the website, and check out the ingredients. Okay, so according to the Milani website, this one does not include any color pigments like that. So this one is okay. They just don't have the ingredient list anywhere on this packaging. It might have been that it was on the outer packaging, but who keeps that? We need the ingredient list on the packaging. But let's go ahead and move along. Next we have the Milani Must Love Mattes and Bold Obsession palettes. Again, nothing on the packaging. We're going to start with the Bold Obsessions palette, and this one does contain Yellow 5 Lake in the slots 2, 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Yellow 5 Lake is approved for eye use, so we are okay there. As far as the other eyeshadows in this palette, I don't see where any color pigments are listed at all. So it looks like this palette is good. They just don't have it listed anywhere with the ingredients. Okay, for the Most Love Mattes palette, again, there are no color pigments listed like that on here. So this one is also good. Let's jump into a very well-known one. It's the Comfort Zone by Wet n Wild. They do have an ingredient list on this one, but again, this one is quite old packaging, as you can see. But let's just go ahead and give this one a look. This one does have Black 2. Let's see if that one is FDA approved. It says that Black 2 is limited to suggestion for eye use. We are going to jump over to this Flower Beauty Sugar Rush palette, which they do include the ingredient list on the back. So yes, points for you. Let's see what it includes. Contains Yellow 5 Lake, which is approved for eye use, and Red 40 Lake. Now, Red 40 is the only red pigment that is approved for eye use. So this Sugar Rush palette is good, and it has bonus points for having the ingredient list on the package. Let's go over to CoverGirl. I have a True Naked palette. I actually have two. I have the roses and the goldens. Let's see. First off, we have ingredient list on the packaging. Points for you, CoverGirl. Let's see what your ingredients say they include. Okay, for the goldens, they don't have any color pigments listed. Let's check out the roses palette. Okay, so both of these, so neither of these list any color pigments. Now when I say that, they have like carmine and iron oxide. I'm talking about color pigments, but neither of these have that listed on there. Now here's one from Maybelline. This is the City Mini palette in Sunrise Sunset. Points for them as well because they have an ingredient list on the packaging. Let's see what it includes. Okay, this one includes Yellow 5 Lake, which we have established is approved for eye use, and it also has Blue 1 Lake. Yes, Blue 1 Lake is FDA approved for eye use. So it looks like this palette is good, and it has bonus points for having the ingredient list. Now let's swap over to Makeup Revolution. I have 4 palettes here. Let's see. First off, we are going to take points away because there are no ingredient. Let's back up. Now, looking at this, I have 3 Reloaded palettes here. I Iconic Vitality, Iconic Fever, and Velvet Rose. Straight up, Velvet Rose has no ingredient list, while these two do. I mean, that makes no sense. It's from the same company. It's in the same line. They're all these Reloaded palettes, but this one doesn't have an ingredient list on it, so who knows? Let's start with the Iconic Fever. Okay, this one contains yellow 6. According to the FDA website, yellow number 6 says it is not approved for eye use. Includes red 7, which is not approved for eye use. It does have red 40, which is approved. Let's look at the Iconic Vitality. Yellow number 5, which is okay. DNC Black 2. Red 40 is okay. But let's check out this DNC Black 2. Subject to limitation. Now for this Ultra Eye Contour palette, it has the number 40, red number 40 listed, which is approved. But again, this Velvet Rose doesn't have anything listed. Let's see if we can find anything on Ulta's website. Alright guys, on Ulta's website, they have the Velvet Rose palette listed with the other Reloaded palettes, but they do not have an ingredient list listed. So how are we supposed to find out what's in this palette? Because there's nothing on here. There are details, but those do not include an ingredient list. So for this palette, it's a mystery. We don't know. So the moral of this story here is we need to start checking our ingredient list. And while it is super helpful to have it on that packaging, a lot of these companies are not putting it on that packaging, which is an inconvenience, because how many people are really going to go and research ingredients on the website? And then, like in the case of this Velvet Rose palette, we go to the website and there are no ingredients listed. So we just, as consumers, we need to be more mindful of what we are actually putting on our faces, especially the eye area, which is very sensitive. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Come find me on social media, and I will see you next time.